Here we are today, 5-ton carrier furnace, replacing an ECM blower motor. This one's going to be the 5-speed, modified version of the X13. This is Carrier's newer model of the X13, so it doesn't have the molded plug, Molex plug, but that's okay. We're going to be putting a Bluetooth enabled Azure ECM motor on it, and I'll keep you updated. Okay, so here we are. So we have the new Azure motor, which, if you'll notice, made by Broad Ocean Motor, and Broad Ocean Motor Co. Same motor company. And we've got two different harnesses here. These are the ones for power and one's for your motor taps, your speed taps. You'll notice this one doesn't have the Molex plugs, but it does have the same ends as this. So the new motor, these Molex plugs will go in there, and then your other end here, your female connectors, will go directly to the board for all your different speed taps. So it's going to be a good replacement. But as you notice, the Carrier motor has a motor mount built onto it. So when you do this, you have to buy a belly band to go around this motor. And it comes with some nice little grommets also, and washers that you want these holes here. So, all right, I'll show you the finished product and how we program it using Bluetooth. Alright, so new motor is installed. I always mark on the housing exactly where my pigtail needs to come out. It makes it easy to get your motor back in the exact right spot. Okay, so here, this lead here says closed for 115 volts, open for 230. So this is a furnace motor, so I've got it closed. There's a complete circuit there. It's going to be 115 volts. Okay. Over here, we have our directions. We have clockwise lead in closed, counterclockwise lead in open. So those two have open because we're going counterclockwise. Counterclockwise from the lead end. Counterclockwise. Go ahead and plug your harness in before you put the blower assembly back in to the cabinet. Just makes it much easier. That way the wire's already connected. You don't have to reach up in there and try to fight to plug these in. Okay, so what I discovered is that off the motor, the speed taps here, these are standard spade terminals. And on the board, these are the smaller ones. So these spade terminals are too loose. So what I've done is cut the wires off the old motor. You can see the difference in the size there. So I've cut the speed tap wires off the old motor. Some splice connectors here, a small wire. I'm going to splice those on here, and then we'll be all set. All right, so here we go. Got all my motor taps spliced to the old connectors, so the plugs are nice and tight on the board here. And we should be good to go now. Let's get our wires secured. Everything else is back in place. Motor is installed. Everything is secured. All right. Got all the wires nicely bundled up and secured, so it doesn't look like spaghetti when the next guy opens it. We're ready to start it up and program it. Okay, so step one, before we turn the power back on here to the furnace, got it all buttoned up. We're going to launch our Azure app, and we're going to make sure our Bluetooth is enabled. It is. Okay. And then we're going to turn on the power. Power is on. Furnace board just lit up. We're going to click connect. So it's looking for devices. here it is, refreshed, and it found the motor. We're going to click connect. We're now connected to the motor. It says it's an X13 application, and we're going to start the auto size. And it tells us if we do this, all air supplies and returns must be open and air filters must be clean, which they are. I verified that. Click OK. Motor just kicked on. You can see it changing the RPMs here. Ramping up. Okay, so it's learned everything. So the next step is we don't do anything else until we come back, turn the power off. Once we turn the power off, it's going to lock everything in. Wait for it to discharge. All right, I'm going to pick up a new video. New video, so our voltage is dropped. We're going to kick the power back on. Okay. Power is back on. We're going to hit connect. We found our motor. We're going to connect to our motor. Okay, everything looks good. Good voltage. Now we're going to kick it into cool mode, and we're going to check our torque. Okay, so here we go. We're in cool mode on tap 5. Motor is slowly ramping up. See your wattage, your voltage, your current, your RPMs. This is going to be high speed for a 5-ton. Should be about 2,000 CFM. Pulling about 9.5 amps, that looks pretty good. Holding steady at 98% torque. 888 watts. It's pretty good. So, if we want to adjust the speed, we can adjust the speed for the tap that we're on, which is tap 5. So we tap adjust speed, and we change the percentage of torque. So if I change it to 80%, it's going to restart, so it shuts the motor off. It's going to come back on. The carrier motor, the factory motor, was only rated for 1,050 RPM. So this one was up in the 1100s. Not much more, but we're gonna try to get as close as possible. There we go. Coming on up. Look at that. 1,050, 1,048. Boom. 80% torque gives us our 1,050 RPMs. Okay. That's pretty good. Harness sounds good. Amperage looks good at about 7.5 amps. It's pretty good. We're gonna call it a day right there. Screenshot.